Pastor Ed here with Daily Devotions for Saturday, December the 28th, 2024. Hope you're continuing to enjoy your Christmas holiday, filled with a lot of good experiences, and especially, hopefully, you're together with family and close friends, and again, enjoying this time. Once again, we're using a devotion straight out of Luther's works. I'll say more about that in a second, but it's based on that Isaiah 9 reading that we had at the candlelight service, at least, as the first reading. So we'll start there. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those whom lived in a land of deep darkness, on them light has shined. You've multiplied the nation. You've increased its joy. They rejoice before you as with joy at the harvest, as people exult when dividing plunder. For the yoke of their burden and the bar across their shoulders, the rod of their oppressor you have broken as on the day of Midian. For all the boots of the tramping warriors and all the garments rolled in blood shall be burned as fuel for the fire. For a child has been born for us, a son given to us. Authority rests upon his shoulders, and he is named Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. His authority shall grow continually, and there shall be endless peace for the throne of David and his kingdom. He will establish and uphold it with justice and with righteousness from this time onward and forevermore. The zeal of the Lord of the hosts will do this. Luther's devotion that I'm sharing with you today is from a sermon on Christmas Day 1520, The Heart and the Child, it's entitled. Luther writes, "This child is sent to fill thine heart, and for no other reason he is born. And when the heart thus gives itself up through faith, it finds what his name is, namely this sweet Jesus. And thereafter the heart lifts itself up unto the Father, who in his grace has given the child into the heart. No word can say nor understand that so small a thing should hold so great a treasure. And thus the great and wonderful sign is repeated, and the heart is made sweet and glad and fearless, for it is at peace with all the suffering that may befall it. For what should cause it woe? Where the child is, all will be well. The heart and the child cannot be parted. But mark this well, that it's impossible for the heart to receive the child and taste his sweetness unless it has first cast out all earthly joy, all things that are not Christ's. The child will never suffer that the heart cares for anything else, for he would dwell therein alone. We must part with all things which are good in our sight, voluptuousness, love of property, fame, our life, and piety, and wisdom, and all our virtue. And when we have thus fully abandoned all that we have and have denied it to ourselves, then the babe comes to us, but he brings with him everything that slays our old Adam. Thou must bring to the child a single soul, and he can best do this who is cast down under much sadness, grief, and suffering, and has nothing to his liking, in such a way that he still bears willingly all adversities. Never will Christ be sweet to thee until thou hast first become bitter to thyself. If a man feels not this within his heart, he may as well keep away." Kind of an interesting take on it. I've been thinking about it. In the one part, the child born in Bethlehem comes to us in all weakness and vulnerability, and in poverty, and a stark contrast, I guess you'd say, to all that we yearn for and uphold and acclaim in our lives. And Luther says it's as if we almost have to rid ourselves of all of those things, all the things that we enjoy in this life, in order to empty ourselves and open our hearts to Christ. And so I'm looking for the one, never will Christ be sweet until thou hast become bitter to thyself. We must part with all things which are good in our sight. And when we have thus fully abandoned all that we have and denied it to ourselves, then the babe comes to us. But also makes the point that those who can do it best are the people who have been cast down with much sadness and grief and suffering, and has nothing to his liking. again, when we're self-satisfied, when we feel confident, when we feel accomplished, when we feel success, it's as if we are blinded to our need for something more, that it all seems so well and right and good in our lives that we are unable to recognize what's wrong and the ways in which we have failed and fallen short of what this life should be. And so, in a way, the person who is, and this seems to have been a theme, the person who is experiencing great difficulty is, by virtue of those circumstances, kind of more open to the coming of Christ. And for the rest of us, it means abandoning all of the thoughts that we typically have about, what life is all about, what a successful life is all about, and thus empty ourselves so that Christ can come in and show us the true way. We are often blinded by the ways of this world, and Luther seems to talk about that quite a bit, and certainly did this week in talking about the inbreaking, the incarnation, the coming of Christ, that it's a way of rejecting all that this world holds dear in order to grasp and to fully experience what ultimately faith holds dear. Well, hopefully you're having a great week. I'll be back with you again, I guess, on New Year's Eve. So we'll join you then. Until then, take care. We have a service of lessons and carols tomorrow. And so if you want to sing along and hear all the lessons that lead up to and have to do with the incarnation, come and be a part of that. It's at 9:30. So it'll also be live streamed. And of course, you can always, as always, watch the recording sometime afterwards. So until Tuesday, if not before, take care. We'll see you then. Bye.